two student pledge leaders with us this evening. So I'd like to invite Kane and Kingston to please come forward. You can come to this microphone right here. Thank you so much for being with us this evening.
Ready, gentlemen.
with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Brookhart?
Here.
Dr. Faulkner?
Here.
Mr. Gorman?
Here.
Mr. Hoffman?
Here.
Mr. Reichard?
Here.
Senior? Mr. Reichard Jr.?
Here.
Mr. Umbriak?
Here.
Mr. Vognitz?
Here.
Dr. Green?
Here. 1-3 minutes, April 3rd, 2024 Committee of the Whole meeting. The board will take action to approve the minutes from April 3rd, 2024 Committee of the Whole meeting as presented.
Motion. Second.
Harold Jr.
Jr. Okay. Dr. Faulkner?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.?
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak?
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz?
Yes.
Dr. Green?
Yes. 1-4, April 10th, 2024 board meeting. The board will take action to approve the meeting minutes from April 10th, 2024 board meeting as presented.
Motion. Second.
Dr. Faulkner?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.?
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak?
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz?
Yes.
Mr. Brookhart?
Yes.
Dr. Green?
Yes. 2-1, board recognition. Danville High School Choir, Band, and Art.
And Mr. Ryan, if you could move forward with our slides. First today, thank you again to Kane and Kingston for being with us for the pledge. We do have two student government leaders with us today, Anna Hummel and Olivia Hummel, and you'll hear from them a little bit later on this evening. And if you go to the next slide, you'll see that this evening we're recognizing our PMEA choir representatives and band and orchestra representatives and some of our high school art students this evening. And so first we do have our choir representatives. So I don't know, is Miss Pritchard with us this evening? Thank you. So I'll turn it over to Miss Pritchard. And if you go to the next slide, Mr. Ryan, you'll see the names of the students. And so we're certainly just very proud of Avery and Sydney and Lila, Jara and Jimmy. And maybe Miss Pritchard, you could speak to what this honor represents. That would be great if you could.
Good evening, everyone. So our Pennsylvania Music Educators Association is a statewide organization that recognizes outstanding individuals in the music area. We, as an organization, we have a number of festivals every year. It goes from a district level festival. We are part of District 8 that goes from Selinsgrove up to Athens and out to Northeast Bradford. I think there are 40 to 42 schools in that area that our students compete against students with for honors in participating in those ensembles. So it's choir, band, and orchestra, and also jazz band. The choir students this year they had to audition against anywhere from 30 students to 65 students to earn a spot in that ensemble. And then they progress from there, from districts to regions to the all-state level. So Avery is here tonight. She was the only one that was able to make it. Lila and Sydney are at dance rehearsal. Jara Cerrone has a voice lesson. She's preparing for the Teen Star competition in a couple of weeks, so the kids are very busy. Jimmy is AP testing along with all of the rest of them this week, so it's a busy time. But we're very, very proud of what they can accomplish in this festival series, and we're very thankful to you for recognizing their achievements. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Pritchard, and congratulations, Avery. And if you move to the next slide, you'll see that we had students who were recognized in the PMEA band and orchestra. So congratulations to Cassandra and Bridger, Gage, Benjamin, Owen, Savannah, Isabella, Hanson, and Bailey. I know I see some of you in the audience this evening. Thank you for being with us. Is Miss Garside with us this evening? Sorry, I missed you there. Come on up and you could tell us a little bit about this honor for our band and orchestra students.
So much like choir, these students auditioned, we're in the same district as we are for choir, for band and orchestra, so they auditioned against a number of students in November to make it to the ensembles that they were in. So we have Bridger, made it to District Jazz this year. Cassie and Owen both made it to District Band. Bailey made it to District Jazz, District Band, and Region Band. And then Ben Kapp made it to District Band as well. And Gage Hayes made it to District Jazz, District Band, Region Band, and he was our all-state musician this year, meaning that in order to get there, he had to place first in every audition leading up to that. So we're all just so very proud of them and their efforts and their dedication and commitment to the music program here at the Danville High School. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Garside, and thank you to our band students. Mr. Ryan, if you go to the next slide, you'll see that we have now a celebration in the visual arts. And so we have some high school students that are with us this evening, Grace and Luke, Ryan, Melissa, and Lucy. So I will turn it over to you all. I have all the slides there, so you can direct Mr. Ryan when you'd like to move from slide to slide. I don't know if there's something you want to particularly say about each piece.
Would you like us all to talk or just one of us to do it?
Whatever works best for all of you.
I'll put this, I'll give
Okay, great. So Mr. Ryan, you could probably pull up, the next slide takes us to the first piece of art, and then we have a few slides of artwork.
Yeah, Mr. Lynch can't be here tonight, but he sent us all, he put together 10 or few slideshows just about the art program and the AP program. The first slide there is from Muha Lisa, who is with us here tonight. She did this as a scholarship contest for Bloomsburg. She took second place. This abstract painting of New York City, which she sold to a private collector for, how much was it? $300.
Congratulations, it's
So-
beautiful.
Obviously, it came out great. Allows us to do things like that.
We're so thankful to have that.
Slide 4 is a mural we just did within the last few months. Just no particular like science or math. It's just flower and sky and colors, and it's just in front of the LGI. It's mosaic. It's pretty cool. Next slide. Next, we're going to go into 3 AP art portfolios. All of them are ceramic. The first one is Luke Huron's, who's with us. He focused on stack pieces. So these are not all the pieces, a few of them that he made throughout the year, some later, some in the beginning. Piece of what he's submitting for the AP program. The next slide is Grace Everett's. She did teapots. I think that's almost all of them. Again, throughout the year. Just lidded forms, jars, anything with a lid. That's all stuff that's going to be submitted here by Friday to the AP program, and we'll see what we get. 1 through 5. Hopefully 5s all around. That's all I can hope for.
They look like 5s.
Thank you.
And I think there's
Yeah, there's a few more slides.
A few more slides too here.
Mr. Lynch sent us with some slides. The next slide, that's a painting by Lucy Mucciolo, who's also here. She did this for CSIU, who takes two AP students from each year, one from painting and one from 3D design. And they make a work, and then they will buy that work for $300 and then put it on display at their personal gallery. So she made that. She got a check for $300 from the CSIU, and then we're going to be going to a dinner later in May. So, yeah.
Congratulations.
That is a piece made by me, Sydney McCormick, Grace Everett, and Luke Huron, who's here, and Grace. Same thing for the CSIU. Got a check for that too. So a little bit of contracted artwork.
Those are like,
But yeah, we had to split it.
uh,
I wasn't a fan of that, but it's all right. These are ceiling tiles that the whole art classes throughout the whole year made for Geisinger. I think we made 42 ceiling tiles. We painted them. We put them in different rooms around Geisinger, the building, the kids' main buildings, the hallways, everything. And most of them are there. Some of them aren't there. They're getting sent this week, so they'll be up by the end of the school year. And the last slide is for Miss Kelly's interior design class. They made this plan for the cafeteria. It's currently getting worked on. They're starting it this year. Probably going to be done for next year. I thought that was pretty cool. They designed that. It was unused space, so now it's looking nice.
well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Congratulations to our art students.
Thank you again.
Well, collectively, a big thank you to our choir students and our band students and our art students. Thank you for your contributions to the high school. You certainly represent Danville really well, and we're so thankful to have you with us this evening. You are welcome to join us for the remainder of the board meeting. You're also welcome to slip out if you so choose, and certainly welcome to do that. But thank you for being here this evening.
Two reports. CMAVTS.
There wasn't much new. They just talked about some grants that they're applying for. Talked about improvements to the building on top of construction, the new construction, looking into the future as far as roofing. And they're trying to fix their field house up because they have an issue with the floor over there. Other than that, that's about it.
CSIU.
Yes, we met this past month at Work Foundations. We normally they're at the meetings at the CSIU, but it was at Work Foundations. For those who are not familiar, this is probably one of the best meetings I've ever been to in my life. These are kids who don't typically sort of fit into regular school for various reasons. Oftentimes have really significant challenges in standard curriculum, and what this program has done is created a place where these kids sort of go in. The testimonials were mostly from the parents, and they were saying things like, I was not sure if my kid would ever be able to have a job. I thought my child was going to be in my house for the rest of my life. And after going through the Work Foundation's programming, these folks were saying, I have confidence and faith that this kid can live independently and be a contributing member of society. I mean, it was a very emotional experience for everybody involved because it was just true, raw heart and love. And the commitment by the folks at the Work Foundation's program over the past, I mean, it's been around for a while, but over the last, I think, decade or so, it's really grown and becoming a powerful program that's helping folks who don't necessarily fit into the typical pathways find careers. So it was a really beautiful thing, and I was not familiar with that program, so I encourage folks to visit if they want, because it's really a cool place to see how we take, and I always sort of think we should be judged by how we take care of the people who are the most vulnerable, and it was just such a great example of that. So anyways, there's also in the folder here, is this for the Board of Direct CSIU folks, this is not an agenda item.
It's not an agenda item, it's individual voting.
Right, so for other board members, this is just a sort of the standard approval of who the districts have appointed to the CSIU Board of Directors. Just drawing.
And
your
Laura
attention.
would just take those at the end of the evening.
Yes, so you do have to check a box. I'm also on the list. You don't have to approve me, but.
I do say, I vote in favor of the slated candidates, except for,
Yeah, you have that option. You have the option to write out.
Oh, thanks for pointing that out, Sam.
you're
I would be
welcome.
the only one in the IU who's not actually appointed. Oh, man. But that's it.
All right.
you.
EITC,
Nothing.
Head Start.
At Head Start, we had a meeting, and mainly we were talking about where we sit at this particular time. We are now fully enrolled with 86 children. The staff, they are fully staffed, which is around 23. This is making things work easier for all of them, because everybody's got some help. Head Start grants are due for June the 1st. They've got some of them coming. There's lots of items on the agenda to be submitted with the grant, so that'll be coming up. And the kindergarten transition night is May the 15th. Anyone that's got kindergarten children. And parents, teachers concerns are May the 20th and the 21st. And everybody will be happy. It's the last day of school. It'll be June the 5th. Thank you.
DS Trust.
Nothing to report.
Okay. On to 3.1, the enrollment reports.
I apologize. You'll see in the enrollment report for our district buildings for primary school, Valley, middle school, high school, and CMAVTS. We are fairly consistent where we have been over the last month. For CMAVTS, we did have, just so you're aware, for next year's ninth graders, we did have 31 students originally accepted of our 39 slots, and we do have 5 students that have been accepted off the waiting list at this point in time. Those families still have to make the decision as to whether or not they want to accept that placement, but that's where we sit for next year's students at the VOTEC. If you look at the next slide, you'll see our non-public enrollment report. Last month, we did go through the specific breakdown within the Christian schools. This month, you're just seeing those holistic numbers that also fall fairly close to where we have been sitting over the last few months. That will take us to our administrator board reports this evening. I'll turn it over first to Dr. Gump and Mr. Varhalik to tell us a little bit about the high school and then involve our student representatives as well.
Okay, good evening. Just wanted to again say we are, as Mrs. Pritchard had mentioned, we're in testing season. AP testing is happening this week and into next week. And next week we have a little bit of an overlap with AP and Keystone testing going on. So again, that's just that time of year in the high school where we have a lot of testing going on throughout the school. Second is scheduling update. This is something near and dear to us as administrators, but of course, eventually we're going to get those schedules into the hands of students. So scheduling for next year is looking really good. This weekend, Mr. V and I hit the 90% mark of satisfied course requests for students, and so I'm just very happy to report that things are going very well. And at this point, we're at a point of refining to the point where, again, we get those schedules into the hands of students by the end of the school year. And I'm even toying with something of maybe running an alternate schedule for the end of a day where students can move up and meet their teachers, see their classrooms for next year. So I don't believe that's something we've done before. So I think if we continue on this course, we'll be able to go ahead and do that. So just one quick little note to that. Schedule changes will continue to happen for students throughout the summer and so on and so forth. It's not like their final schedule, but it gives them a really good idea of what they're going to have for next year. And lastly, I bring this up just to say that we continue to do our best to communicate with families, and in doing so, just the other day, got a lot of mailings out to our families, including just end-of-year information, including final exams, and also numerous end-of-year events that are happening at the high school.
So in light of what Dr. Gump was talking about in terms of testing, one of our departments, our Spanish department, actually hosted their national Spanish exams for the past week or two, and they got the results back, and 39 awards were received from bronze, silver, and gold medals, and so, which is absolutely phenomenal. Across the nation, they compete against schools that are much larger than us. Even in the state of Pennsylvania, we've done phenomenally well. So some of the larger schools, just even within an hour of here, have thousands of students and have far less awards compared to Danville. So 39 was great, and we had 51 honorable mentions, and then other students that have done just very well. So just kudos to Mrs. Reichkoop and Mr. Keller and all of the Spanish teachers across the district for their work with our students. It's absolutely phenomenal. So then moving on to our community culture events within the school. Our Cyber Academy students celebrated with a pizza party. They do it monthly, but this one in particular, we were really trying to get students incentivized to come in to get excited for Keystone testing. So Mr. Sample has been communicating that with them and doing a great job with our students and families, trying to get them more connected and involved in the school. So our cyber program is obviously trying to pull in students. Not only, obviously, we know that students desire to go to the cyber program, but again, we're trying to make sure that they have a connection as well. So like I said, that's a great program. Mr. Sample does a great job. Then our Keystone testers, that's going to be coming up here. Where Mr. Gump and I, or Dr. Gump and I, are going to be having a incentives before the test. So in the morning, the students are going to have the option of coming in to have some like breakfast treats and things like that before the test starts to kind of get them motivated. We're going to have some music playing and just talking to students as they get prepared for the test, and then we're going to send them off to the test once 8 o'clock turns around. So hopefully that will get them, like I said, at least awake in the morning as they're coming in to start taking the test. And then finally, we have, I'm going to pass it over to our students to talk about a little bit about our Forge On Festival, which will be coming up here at the end of the semester.
Hi, I'm Anna, and I'm the junior secretary. So in the past month, we held our prom, and this year we did our promenade at the high school, and it was a really nice opportunity for family members as well as the community to come see all the students dressed up for prom. And then we headed over to Frosty, and we really had an amazing prom. We sold out of tickets this year, which was really nice because then the whole school could be together. And our theme was Casino Royale, and the junior officers as well as the committee really did a great job decorating, and it really made it a fantastic evening.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm the historian. And right now, the seniors have a couple events coming up with the end of the year. They have their class trip to the Pocono Valley, valediction, graduation, cap and gown walk, and senior exit interviews. They're working really hard to make everything a good and enjoyable experience. The junior, sophomore, and freshmen right now have finished most of their big events, but they're planning the Forge On Festival. These classes will be selling beverages, fruits, and ice pops at their stands and be hosting fun games during the academic pep rally, such as the water bucket game and split the mug. We're very excited to see the festival and see all the clubs with their stands and to celebrate the end of the year with everyone's successes.
This is my first year as a class officer, and being part of this team as well as the student government this year has really made it a great experience. I feel like we made big strides toward a better school and come up with fun events that we can start incorporating in the coming years. Also, we've come up with some ideas that can make the school even better in the future, such as the opportunity for seniors to paint their parking spot, which would bring some fun and color to everyone's everyday. Thank you so much for taking the time to have us here and the opportunity to make our school better each and every day.
Thank you so much. Mr. Haravi.
Evening, everybody. The middle school has had a really busy month. We've had lots of really cool events for the kids. We have a whole bunch more planned for the coming month. You may have seen our newsletter that was just released. We had Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. If you recall the kids who brought you chocolate at the last board meeting, they had their production. I have to say that Sam Samatos and Corey Lombardo have really done an exceptional job in building the middle school drama program. Just a few years ago, they started with $200 in their pocket. They have turned this thing into a really awesome monster that brought in $12,000 this year. The kids made all the props. They've really done a tremendous job with that, so kudos to them. Hi, Dr. Snower. You want to take over? We also had our spring pep rally just a few days ago. It was a big hit. Had a blast with that. And I do want to draw your attention really briefly to our disciplinary data of all things, the thing that the middle school sometimes gets a bad rap for. We had 183 incidents logged in Sapphire this last month. When you break down the monthly incidents from September to December and compare them to the monthly incidents of January to April, our monthly discipline data is down 22%. We have a huge focus this year on improving our ability to deliver really high quality tier 1 instruction. And everything is connected. Your classroom management plays into how well students learn. Your instructional delivery plays into into your classroom management. So I think that we're really going to see the results of this, and I see this as an indicator of really high success for our kids.
Thank you so much, Dr. Reiner.
So, last month I had shared Liberty Valley's commitment to putting data in our students' hands. This month I want to highlight something that I think is pretty unique for an elementary school to be doing. Not only are we showing our students their own discipline data on the morning announcements, but we have started to encourage personal ownership of our building. So what we have done at Liberty Valley is we have established a cafeteria and a playground committee that is completely student-led. And in the past month, Mrs. Pennypacker, who is our head chef at Valley, and I have met with a group of 4th grade student advocates. The students had come to us and met, presented a PowerPoint, and what they wanted was they wanted salt and pepper in the cafeteria. So the students came to Mrs. Pennypacker and I, had their entire PowerPoint ready to go, and we listened to them. It was very well done. And then we talked to them about, what it looks like when you present to, a board. So we had a lesson on, okay, it was your turn, now it's our turn to present. So Mrs. Pennypacker presented them data about the USDA in terms of the things in salt intake with students. And we came to the agreement with our 4th grade advocates that we could not give them more salt, but we were allowed to give them pepper. So our 4th graders won the opportunity to now have pepper packets in the Liberty Valley cafeteria. You could have thought we gave them $1 million. They were jumping up, screaming, high-fiving. It was one of the coolest moments of my career. And then today, actually, Mr. Sokolowski and I met with a group of 5th grade student advocates because they gave us an incredible presentation related to the fact that they believed that we should have a Gaga pit mat. So if you are familiar with and Kingston Funk is looking at me, you're like, yes. If you are familiar with Gaga pits, our Gaga pits at Liberty Valley are probably the highlight of recess, but they are covered in mud. So our kiddos come out of their head to toe in mud, skinned knees, bruised elbows, because they are hardcore about Gaga ball, right? So, but we have these mud floors. Well, our kids presented 4 different options because we taught them about how when you go in front of the board and if you spend a certain amount of money, you need to have at least 3 different bids. So they brought us 4. They had done all of the research, and it was incredible. And we left that meeting, Mr. Sokolowski and I told them that we had, we were taking their proposal into account. We haven't decided yet what we're going to do, but we sat there, we listened to them. It was, like I said, it was incredible. So I just wanted to highlight the fact that not only are we presenting data to our students, but we are showing them that even, as 3rd and 4th and 5th graders, it is their school. It is not my school. It is not their teacher's school. It's their school. So if there's something that they believe in and that they feel strongly about, as long as they do the research and come to us, our job is to listen to them. So again, we have 2 instances that kiddos proved to us that they needed this, and the adults in the building and the adults that make the decision said, yeah, you're right, we trust you and we value you. So just 2 really cool instances of advocacy at Liberty Valley.
Thank you so much. And Mrs. Geis?
Good evening, everyone. So May is the busiest month of the school year in the primary school. It's a little overwhelming, actually. This month we go on field trips. Kindergarten is going to the Lewisburg Children's Museum. 1st grade is going to the Red-tailed Deer Farm in Catawissa and Rohrbach's, and 2nd grade is going to Folks Butterfly Farm. On May 23rd, we're having our final Parent University of the year. That's at 6 o'clock, and all families are invited to attend. We have a doctor coming from Geisinger to talk about the importance of sleep. Her name is Anne Marie Morse, so we're looking forward to that. I've heard she's amazing.
She is. She's excellent. She's an excellent speaker, too.
And lastly, one of my main focuses this year was to improve our attendance. So there has been a team of us, Mrs. Brady, the secretary, and our guidance staff, and the nurse. We meet bi-weekly. Halfway through the year, I started meeting with parents in person regarding attendance. It's gone very well, and we were all very excited. Our attendance rate was over 97% last month.
Thank you. And Mrs. Earps, secondary special ed.
So this past month at the high school, we had a transition fair, and I would just like to thank the special education team of teachers for all their hard work in organizing a very successful event that had about 15 local vendors in attendance. It was a great opportunity for our students to talk to those vendors and just maybe set some goals for themselves for post-secondary life. Additionally, this past year, we secured a transition grant, and I just wanted to share with you that we are going to be using some of that money, the leftover money, to renovate the Life Skills kitchen area, which is in need of a facelift, get some new appliances, paint, just a sensory room, just really update it so it's beneficial to our clientele of students. In addition, we are working on getting a pop-up student store that will come in the fall, so I'm sure you'll hear more about that. At the middle school, actually tomorrow, we're having middle school move-up day for our special education students. And again, thank you to the special education team at the middle school for planning special events tomorrow, just to make those special ed kids coming to the middle school just feel welcome in a positive environment, have fun, just get ready for that transition that's about to come. And an additional thank you to that team, of course, for working with me as we begin to refine the remediation process at the middle school and really evaluate what resources we have available, how we need to move forward to ensure that supports are in place for our students at the middle school. So, thank you.
And Ms. Wenrick.
So, like Gianna said, we are wrapping things up for this school year with trips. Not only do we have our 5th graders going to the 6th grade to figure out the scary middle school and to try those locks, which that seems to be the biggest fear for any 6th grade student is the locks at the school. So they're going to start practicing that tomorrow. And we have our small group trips of 2nd grade students going to Liberty Valley to see that school and to kind of get comfortable and to see who's going to be working with them. We're also getting ready our incoming kindergarten students by getting data uploaded for us to make informed decisions over the summer for class list and making plans for any kind of need that may be coming into the school district. So we're ready to go for the very start of the school year. In addition to wrapping up the school year, we have extended school year, which will take place June to the middle of June to the middle of July. It will be here at the primary school, and it's for students K through 12. The other thing is, like, we're continuing to develop our MTSS progress, and we're entering into what I would say is phase 2. So we had a very productive meeting this past week, and we're trying to use the technology that we already have to make it a more universal system that we can easily find and track kids to go through K through 12. So we have a plethora of data to look at when we transition kids to a different building.
Thank you. Mrs. Marshall.
So just wanted to follow up a little bit on our attendance incentive. I think I explained this in September or October. So we, once you sign up for preschool, you are expected to be there, and we are looking to have 85% per child classroom and overall program. So this year we would try to, as an incentive for the children to attend, we would have, if they had excellent attendance or great improvement, they would get a certificate and a small superhero little toy that goes with our superhero, here every day, ready on time. So in March we were up to 77% overall for the children. So we did not meet the 85%. We have seen some increase throughout the school year with the incentive. The program made 85% every month, which is the first time that we have done that through program. The one area that we are missing is each child meeting 85 in the classroom. So that is part of our program goals for next year also, just to maybe even look at providing incentives for the parents, because when you're 3 and 4, it's the parents sending them to school. It's not like a high schooler that kind of makes that decision a little bit on their own. So we're looking at some different things to do for next year, but just it was nice to start the program to kind of see how it went and where we are falling short, and then to make some tweaks for next year.
Thank you. And then finally, Mr. Ryan in technology.
Nothing really interesting like everyone else has. It's just normal technology stuff. Running smooth, secure, and consistent. We have a lot of equipment, coming in for our summer jobs, and so we're staging that and doing a lot of reviews of our security practices and our infrastructure and getting everything prepped for the summer, so we can hit the ground running and do everything real quick and real smoothly, so we're not rushed when it comes to the beginning of the school year, because that's always one of the toughest times for us. So everything's going great.
Thank you so much. That concludes our report today.
Thank you. 4.1, public comment, max of 3 minutes, agenda items only. I'll now open it up to the public.
Hi, I would like to address 1116. I think there's been a typo, because I don't think that Megan has actually resigned, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Anybody have any comments for me?
It says voluntary transfer, not
Voluntary
resignation.
transfer, okay. Do you have a form stating that she doesn't want to be principal anymore?
I can't really speak publicly about personnel items other than to state she has signed a voluntary transfer agreement and asked for such agreement.
Okay, but why are you guys pushing her out?
Again, she asked for a voluntary transfer agreement
I
and has signed
don't
that.
think that's actually the case, though. So, anybody else have any comment to add to that?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
My name's Courtney Trainer. I am the president of the primary school HSA. Concerning the same topic, I do understand that you can't speak on what is discussed between you and Mrs. Geis, but it is basically public knowledge now that Megan did not make this decision on her own, and she was told to sign the paperwork stating she would do the voluntary transfer, or that she would receive negative remarks. So I just want to state that there are a very large group of parents who are very upset about this decision. I know I sent in letters speaking on her behalf, and I just want to say that is a small sample of the parents that will speak up for her, not even speaking about the children that will speak on her behalf. The school has exceeded this year under Megan, and parents and the children will suffer by having her step down. I mean, her classroom will succeed, but Megan is an asset to this school as principal, and I just want everyone to take that into consideration when she is being forced to step back into the classroom.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. My name is Renee Schlag. I'm a member of the primary school HSA as well. So I just wanted to speak on Megan's behalf. She is an asset to this elementary school. The things that she has done for the kids is just amazing. The kids love her. I've been volunteering more at the school, and I'm able to interact with her a lot more. And she is just an amazing asset to this primary school. So on behalf of her, I'd like to ask that we reconsider this letter. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amanda Beach. I am a parent of a second grade student and an incoming kindergarten student. I'm going to basically repeat what they said. I don't want to see Megan not be principal next year. My second grade student would have been fine under any guidance. My kindergarten student next year will not. It truly has me nervous. I'm kind of tearful over it, over the leadership that could come in, because I have a child that's going to struggle. And I know it would be great if Megan was a kindergarten teacher next year. I would feel happy. Most of the kindergarten teachers, there's several here. I would be happy to have my son in their classroom. I am nervous over the students who will have behavior. Megan is phenomenal with the younger ages and will help them. I'm nervous if principal certificates can be K-12 experience. I'm nervous that that won't be the case coming in. I witnessed former principals. I've been in education for far too long now, 12 years or so. So I've worked with several school districts. I just really, really want the board to reconsider having Megan not be principal next year.
I'd just like to put forward a point of clarification. It is not the board's decision. This is a voluntary transfer. And from the board's perspective, we can't share information that we've received. It's not allowed to. It protects Megan's rights. It protects the board's rights. It protects our superintendent and our assistant superintendent's rights. But as of last executive session, the board was satisfied with the evidence that was presented to us that this was a voluntary transfer. And I know this may be hard on the community, but there's no evidence that the processes that are in place at the school were not followed and followed appropriately. And I know it appears that people are upset by this transfer, and I can understand why. But it is not directly the board's decision, nor is the board leveraging in any way. We have a voluntary transfer that was signed and, in fact, asked for.
I think in the community, it has become knowledge to a lot of parents in the district.
Sure.
That it was more of a forced signature onto that form.
So what I can do to speak to that is simply say, the board and the administration is bound by laws to be able to talk about things only in very specific ways.
I understand that.
And that we cannot share any of the conversations that have been had behind closed doors, nor can we defend ourselves when we are attacked in one way or another. we're legally not allowed to.
Yeah, and I understand that. I just want to express if there is any way, and I get this, the position has now been posted, but if she were to reapply, I would just give them a fair chance.
Sure.
To have her position
Well,
back.
if Mrs. Geis feels that she was treated unfairly, there were both administrative redress that she could have actively pursued, and there's legal redress that she can actively pursue. If she feels the need to actively pursue those things, the board would not stand in her way from pursuing those things. But at this time, neither of those things have been actively pursued. I know that there are many rumors in the public, and if you can see, I'm getting a little visibly upset because I'm constrained by what I'm allowed to say and not allowed to say. And it is not entirely fair to the board, nor is it entirely fair to the school's administration, that these rumors are given credence without understanding the full scope of what's going on. Now, once again, people who are not bound by this, including Ms. Geis, are welcome to say whatever they want in the public. There's nothing the board can do about that, and there's nothing the administration can do about that. But I want to be very clear. There was both administrative recourse and legal recourse, and this is a voluntary transfer that was presented. There was no direct action by the board or administration to force her to transfer. So I appreciate what the public is saying, and I didn't come up here wanting to be the public face of any of this, because I'm not. It's not my decision. It's not my choice. But there is simply facts that are here about what we're allowed to say and not allowed to say. And I know people may be upset, but sometimes the reality isn't always what people perceive it to be. So I greatly appreciate you guys coming here and willing. I actually adore Ms. Geis and have no issue with her in any way, shape, or form personally, or any experiences that my children have had with her. So understand, this is not a choice on behalf of the board. This is a voluntary transfer. So I appreciate you guys' speaking on her behalf. It's clear that she's beloved by the community.
I make a motion to adjourn to executive session.
Sure. For personnel issues?
Yes.
Done. The board will take a moment to, we'll be back. Turn to executive session to discuss personnel issues. So we are going to resume for 4-1, public comment, max of 3 minutes. If there's additional comment that people would like to make, you're welcome to do so now, on agenda items only.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Savannah Carmichael. I live on 2nd Street in town. I'm currently the K-2 music teacher at Danville Primary School. As teachers, we are continuously reminded to remember our why. Our why in this circumstance is how passionate we are for education, how much we truly love our students. I believe in the power of education. I believe in our teachers, staff, students, families, and our community. I'm here to ask our board members and community members to ask the question why. Why have 11 teachers and 7 administrators resigned from our district in the past 18 months, when previous years had significantly less? Why is teacher morale at an all-time low? Why is our beloved principal resigning to spend more time with her family? Why are there 56 vacant sub-positions this month when neighboring districts only have 7? Why has DPS had 3 going on 4 principals in 4 years? Why are there only 2 adults assigned to supervise 157-year-olds eating lunch? Why was the entire kindergarten faculty individually interrogated by a member of our administration on a Thursday morning? Why are superintendents offering to help write teacher resignation letters? Why is our nurse required to attend an after-school PD meeting about 2nd grade English standards? Why did a DPS teacher have to call the company who developed our curriculum to beg for more teacher manuals because we were not able to purchase ones for each teacher? Why are our students missing valuable specials like guidance and Spanish for months? Why did 5 minutes of every child's music class get cut, and why was our specialist teaching time switched over to an hour of lunch duty? Why are specials with established curriculum and standards being replaced weekly with recess? Why is the person in charge of teaching music to our children speaking at the board meeting tonight? Our principal, Megan Geis, had led us with grace and kindness and compassion through this year, combining her knowledge of education with her love for our school and our community. It has been an honor to work under her leadership. If there was a chance that she would reconsider her decision as our principal, I feel we'd be blessed to have her back at DPS. I understand the role of leadership, especially in our higher administration, comes with the burden of many difficult decisions. I can't pretend to know the intricacies of every decision that led to me asking the questions above. But I truly feel we owe it to our children to ask these questions. Please know I am not here with malicious intentions. All of these questions could have completely legitimate answers. It's not my responsibility to judge what is right and what is wrong standing in front of you today, sitting. It is my job to help give our students the best education we can offer them. Our district has changed. Our teachers have felt the effects of those changes. Our students notice the burden that change has on our teachers. My husband's job has moved us around the state of PA. I have worked in 5 different elementary schools, and Danville is by far the best one. As a proud DPS employee and a member of our teachers union, I would like to sincerely apologize for the tension that these 3 minutes may cause. I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't worried about the consequences of sharing my questions tonight, both for me professionally and most importantly for our cherished music program. But as a member of our community, as a neighbor, I feel I owe it to my neighbors to bring these questions to light. Thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for your selfless service to our school. And thank you for asking why.
Thank you. Public comment? All right.
Can I say one thing quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Of course.
first of all, I apologize. I didn't realize there was another speaker. I would not have called for executive session. I meant to have all of you speak, so I'm sorry I made you wait. But that's it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that acknowledgement. Moving on. 5, presentation outside guests. There's none currently. 6, property and supplies, none currently. And 7, athletics and activities. Moving to 7.1, field trips. The board will take action to approve field trips for the Ray of Light Awards on May 17th and 18th, 2024 at the Community Arts Center at Williamsport, PA. The cost of the district will be gas for the van.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard?
Yes.
Mr. Riker Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak,
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Mr. Burkhart,
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. 7-2 Athletic Hall of Fame. The board will take action to approve Bill Bowman as a member of the Athletic Hall of Fame committee.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Reichard,
Yes.
Mr. Riker Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak,
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Mr. Burkhart,
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. 7-3 2024-2025 Winter Musical. The board will take action to approve Anything Goes for the 2024-2025 High School Winter Musical.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Riker Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak,
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Mr. Burkhart,
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. 8-1 Homebound Student. On to Academic Affairs. The board will take action to approve homebound instruction for student 111765 beginning March 27th, 2024 for approximately 6 weeks with Matt Bloom as the homebound instructor.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Umbriak,
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Mr. Burkhart,
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Yes.
Mr. Riker Jr.,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. 8-2 Head Start program goals. The board will make a motion to accept the Danville Head Start pre-K's program goals for the 5-year project period 9/1/24 to 8/31/29.
Make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Mr. Burkhart,
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Yes.
Mr. Riker Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak, Dr. Green.
Yes. 8-3 K through 5 iReady Math. The board will take action to approve the renewal of iReady Classroom Math from the Curriculum Associates as curricular resource for kindergartners K through 5.
Motion.
Who was second? Who was first?
Who was first on that? Sorry.
Carrie.
Mr. Burkhart,
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Yes.
Mr. Riker Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak,
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. So the 8-4 Head Start Pre-K Self-Assessment and Continuous Quality Improvement Plan is for your information only, is not a voting item. 9, School Finance and School and Community Relations, no items to present. 10, Finance. 10-1, Financial Reports as presented. 10-2, April 2024 Financial Reports as presented. 10-3, April 2024 Cash Receipts as presented. 10-4, Bills for Payment, April 5th, 2024 through May 2nd, 2024. The board will take action to approve bills for payment for April 5th, 2024 through May 2nd, 2024 as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Abstain.
Mr. Riker Jr.,
Abstain.
Mr. Umbriak,
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Mr. Burkhart,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. 10-5, 2024-2025 proposed final budget. The board will take action to approve the 2024-2025 proposed final budget as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Who was first?
Daryl Jr. was, and then Tyler was the second.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Yes.
Mr. Riker Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak,
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz,
No.
Mr. Brookhart,
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. 10 sec.
Excuse me, Dr. Green?
Yes, sir.
We are still able to work on the budget between preliminary to final budget and reduce the deficit. We just can't add to the number. Is that accurate? Right, okay. So if we find some things moving forward, that could change what we're going to see in June? All right, I know I have a great deal of respect for Mr. Sokolowski, but he's on his way out. I know he's leaving. So I just hope that we'll put some due diligence into it and see. Nothing that would take away from programmatic items for the kids, but if there's any other things, it would be great if you bring it back reduced somewhat. Thank you.
10 sec. 10-6, PSBA membership. The board will take action to approve the 2024-2025 membership renewal for the Pennsylvania Board Association in the amount of $17,402.93 as presented. Motion.
Second. Motion.
Me first?
No, I was asking for motion.
He was asking.
Fine, motion.
Second.
I mean, I'm happy to motion if you'd like me to, but I try not to as president.
What do we get for this? I know, I saw the list, but like, what do we really get?
No, I think fair question. We did discuss it a little bit last week, and there's a list in there, but this is like our board secretary training, our training for new board members. I would say potentially the most important thing that they're offering us is guidance around policy and when there should be policy revisions and some specific wording about that. They're trying to stay on top of things like if you need sort of like your technology safeguards as those change in time and things, but we do get policy updates on at least an annual basis.
$17,000 seems like an awful lot for a couple policies a year. Just saying. But this is an advisory group, and it just seems like their costs are getting out of control. Bless you. Sorry. Go ahead.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak,
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz,
No.
Mr. Brookhart,
No.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garman,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. 10-7, 2024-2025 Head Start pre-K budget. The board will take action to approve the Head Start pre-K budget for the 2024-2025 school year as presented.
Make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Reichard,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak,
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Mr. Brookhart,
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garman,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. 10-8, Head Start Pre-K Training and Technical Assistance Plan, 2024-2025 school year. The board will make a motion to approve Danville Head Start Pre-K's Training Technical Assistant Plan for the 2024-2025 school year.
Motion.
Second.
And senior. Mr. Reichard Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak,
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Mr. Brookhart,
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garman,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. 10-9, Cafeteria Kitchen Hood Cleaning Agreement. The board will take action to approve the agreement with Hood Pursuit LLC in the amount of $2,781.25 to clean and inspect the 4 cafeteria kitchen exhaust hoods using food service funds.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Umbriak,
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Mr. Brookhart,
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garman,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. 10-10, Curriculum Budget Transfer Request. It is recommended the board approve a budget transfer within the curriculum budget in order to utilize funds to purchase the NWEA MAP and Fluency for the 2024-2025 school year through the 2026-2027 school year. And for the 2 individuals who weren't here, this isn't an additional cost.
Right.
This is just a transfer of money, so we can utilize it.
And we had a presentation on this last week?
We did, yes.
Okay. And evidence of effectiveness came from?
So we're using this currently with our 3rd through 5th graders as a growth measure, and it's a national growth measure. And I think that Dr. Reiner could certainly speak to, if you wanted, how we're designing instruction for students based on those scores. So we're looking to add that in K2. We kind of went through a specific program that they have for K2 that looks at those foundational skills like phonological awareness that will actually provide us growth data at the K-2 level. And similar to what's happening at Liberty Valley right now, we're going to go into the middle school for 6th through 8th grade. So we're looking to transfer funds now and actually can pay in this year's budget for the purchase of this into the future.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you to repeat the
Okay.
presentation, but okay. I just was curious of what effectiveness we found and how. Go ahead.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Mr. Brookhart,
No.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak, Dr. Green.
Yes. So we'll be moving on to personnel issues. I just want to take one brief moment to recognize someone in the room who is on the voting for one of the assistant coaches, Sydney McCormick. You were actually mentioned earlier today, I think, with one of the art pieces as well, right? So multi-talented. And you are going to be the first alumni of the volleyball program to actually be an assistant coach if you pass today. So I just wanted to take a moment to recognize one of our own, moving on to sort of do good things for a relatively young program, which is busy growing, right?
At some point, we need a whole lot of Sydneys that can come and practice for it. We're so happy to have her.
So thank you for coming and sitting through this today. So I don't think anyone on the board has a reason to vote against you, but we'll soon find out. And I would just like to acknowledge whatever happens with the personnel consent with Mrs. Geis. We appreciate her service to the district and whatever role that she performs that in. And we appreciate her service this year. And she's a quality human being and a quality teacher. And I think that's represented in part by a number of people who came out to support her. So I just wanted to state that out there. I think probably most of the board would echo that sentiment, not sediment, very different thing. So moving on to personnel consent items, 11.1, personnel consent items. The board will take action to approve personnel items 11.2 through 11.23. So take a second to look through, see if there are any that you would like removed from the consent decree.
Just 11:16.
Okay. Anything else? So, board will take action to approve personnel items 11.2 through 11.23, excluding 11.16.
Motion.
Second.
Yes.
Garmin, is that you?
Second. Yeah,
Yeah.
he beat me to it.
Junior's
It's like
third.
stereo over there. Okay.
It's the ghost.
I only got the energized piece.
Correct.
All right, we'll start with you. Mr. Garmin?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.?
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak? Mr. Vognitz?
Yes.
Mr. Brookhart?
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner? Yes. Dr. Green?
Yes. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
1116, voluntary transfer. The board will take action to approve the voluntary transfer of Miss Megan Geis from principal of Danville Elementary School to elementary teacher MS plus 15, step 15 of the 2024-2025 salary schedule. Mrs. Geis's last day as principal of the Danville Primary School will be June 8th, 2024. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second. Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard?
No.
Mr. Reichard Jr.?
No.
Mr. Umbriak? Mr. Vognitz?
No.
Mr. Brookhart?
I'm going to say before I vote, without having spoken to Ms. Geist, yes.
Dr. Faulkner?
Yes.
Mr. Garman?
No.
Dr. Green?
Yes. Moving on, 12, policy and insurance. 12.1, expulsion agreement. The board will take action to approve the expulsion agreement for student H1155 beginning April 29th, 2024 through the end of 2023-2024 school year in accordance with policy 233, suspension and expulsion.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Reichard?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.?
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak?
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz?
Yes.
Mr. Brookhart?
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner?
Yes.
Mr. Garman?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Dr. Green?
Yes. 12.2, expulsion agreement. The board will take action to approve the expulsion agreement for student H1111 beginning April 29th, 2024 through the end of 2023-2024 school year in accordance with policy 233, expansion and expulsion.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Reichard Jr.?
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak?
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz?
Yes.
Mr. Brookhart?
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner?
Yes.
Mr. Garman?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard?
Yes.
Dr. Green?
Yes. 12.3, expulsion agreement. The board will take action to approve the expulsion agreement for student H1119 beginning May 10th, 2024 through the end of 2023-2024 school year in accordance with policy 233, suspension and expulsion.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Umbriak?
Yes.
Mr. Vognitz?
Yes.
Mr. Brookhart?
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner?
Yes.
Mr. Garman?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.?
Yes.
Dr. Green?
Yes. 12.4, DTAC agreement. The board will take action to approve the agreement between Diversified Transferred Alternative Centers LLC and Danville Area School District as presented.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Vognitz?
Yes.
Mr. Brookhart?
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner?
Yes.
Mr. Garman?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.?
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak? Dr. Green?
Yes. 12.5, Beacon Light agreement. The board will take action to approve the agreement between Beacon Light Behavioral Health System and Danville Area School District beginning July 1st, 2024 through 6/3/2026 as presented.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Brookhart?
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner?
Yes.
Mr. Garman?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard?
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.?
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak? Mr. Vognitz?
Yes.
Dr. Green?
Yes. Professional CBA MOU. It is recommended the board approve execution of the attached MOU regarding Commonwealth University early college credits 2024-2025 school year. And I just want to say thank you to the high school staff for all their work surrounding this.
One thing, I that's the policy and insurance, I'm sorry.
Or was that the
No,
insurance one?
this is different. This is actually a typo. It is for the 23-24 school year. It is for the current school year.
Would you like me to reread it
Sure.
for the record?
That would be great.
It is recommended the board approve the execution of the attached MOU regarding Commonwealth University early college credits for the 2023-2024 school year. And this is the one we talked about specifically.
Correct, in executive session.
Okay.
Yes.
Motion.
Second.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.,
Yes.
Mr. Embriack, Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Mr. Brookhart,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. 2023-2024 bus driver list. The board will take action upon recommendation of the superintendent to approve the bus driver list for 2023-2024 school year as presented pending the receipt of all required clearances and documentation.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Mr. Reichard,
Abstain.
Mr. Reichard Jr.,
Again, I can or cannot vote on this. Okay, perfect. Yes.
Mr. Embriack, Mr. Vognitz,
Yes.
Mr. Brookhart,
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes. 14.1, board concerns and items for next meeting.
I have a couple questions real quick. Dr. Need, I don't know if did you talk about U.S. News and World Report at all?
I did share that with the board, but
Okay.
it hasn't been shared publicly yet. We're working on a little bit of a high school campaign, but yes, we have been ranked.
Okay,
in
because I don't
US
want to be
News.
the one that brought it out if I
No,
just want
that
to make sure.
you're okay
I mean, we're
to do
so
that.
far ahead of Central Columbia.
I-
It's so tempting. But,
We are number one. They consider Bloomsburg to be like the Bloomsburg metropolitan region, and we are number one in that region.
Yeah.
So kudos to our high school staff, and
Yeah.
we'll be sending out some celebratory things. We'll be putting some information on the website, putting up that U.S. News and World Report banner.
Okay, great. Congratulations, everyone involved.
Thank you, Mr. Burkhart.
This came up a couple years ago, and I just want to make sure we stay consistent over the years. My assumption is that there will be some transfer of staff.
Yes.
Okay, and we have a policy 309, and I think the board needs to be aware of that because that went in a bad direction a couple years back, and it actually led to a lot of people coming onto the board. So
One of the reasons I'm here.
Yes. So could we have some assurance that policy 309 is being followed with the
Yes.
voluntary, involuntary before anything actually gets to the point where teachers are moved?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I had.
Thank you.
Thank you for emphasizing that because I think that's actually something that's really important.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the big issues of contention before Dr. Need's time and before Jason's time. That led
That's why-
both you and I to get involved in the
That's why
board.
people came onto the board.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of the big things.
Because it, on its face, appeared to be punitive as opposed to in the best interest of the district. I don't have any proof that it was, but it certainly, from the outside in, didn't pass the smell test.
It seemed punitive.
Yeah. Okay.
So we certainly are looking to make as few moves as possible. There are some retirements, so there will be, but no intention whatsoever about making moves punitive. That is
Okay.
not
All right.
how we're planning on leading whatsoever. And we will get board approval following policy 309 for anyone who's teaching in a area they weren't originally certified for, any of those kind of changes.
And
Absolutely.
there's a procedure for voluntary
And,
versus
and everybody has
involuntary.
had a chance to volunteer if they're
Okay.
interested, and we're looking
Good.
every one of those volunteers there's not necessarily a spot for, but we're looking to fulfill as many of those voluntary
Okay.
situations as possible. But yes, everyone was given a chance to say where they'd prefer to be.
Excellent.
One thing that was on the news last night, Act 56 was passed for state level. And I think the board and I think for future, we should check into it.
Okay. Be happy to give an update.
Any other board concerns?
I
Are we-
just want to.
Oh, sorry, no, you go ahead. Mine can wait.
I just want to thank Dr. Need and Mr. Moser for addressing my concern I had in our committee as a whole meeting and taking the time to meet with me, and hopefully between the four of us, Mrs. Reno included, that we'll make some headway on that. So I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and discuss this with me.
We appreciate you giving us time, so thank you.
We have 4 companies that
We
have
do, yes.
submitted the proposals for our RFP for the feasibility study, correct?
Yes.
We probably should start talking about what process we want to use to get that approved. I don't know that it has to be discussed at length tonight. I just don't think we want to let those sit too long, because sometimes those prices, companies don't want them to hold because of increased costs. So I would think that at least sometime in June, we should get them in front of either the committee or the full board.
So I was going to ask you if you wanted to have a planning committee meeting then.
I think it's probably a good idea. I'm going to stay away from the vote I'll be careful with the discussion too. I think I said I consult for a company that works with a lot of those companies, and I don't want to alienate any of them necessarily.
Sure.
But the entire board present.
So why don't we do upfront the long-range planning committee together before the committee of the whole, so we can bring things back to the committee of the whole fairly rapidly.
Before committee of the whole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Directly before the committee of the whole, I
And
think
it-
would be good.
Yeah, I don't think there's any problem if people want to come in, they can come in.
Sure. Yeah, I don't-
It's just going to make it a longer night for you, that's all, because there's no voting. Is that, Jennifer, is that okay? Okay.
So I was actually thinking, I was thinking doing the long-range planning committee prior to the committee of the whole.
That's what I
And
was
then-
thinking
yeah,
too.
and then coming back to the committee of the whole and reporting.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Right,
A
a
different
different
night.
night.
Not the
Right,
same
right,
night.
Yeah, different night.
Not
All
the
right,
same night.
not the same night.
The committee of the whole is already long enough.
Yeah, the 3-hour meetings are
I will
excessive.
I would say I can reach out to the long-range planning and inform everyone, and we could
Yeah.
pick a night that comes prior to that first Wednesday of June.
Yeah.
So there'd be an update to everyone on the first Wednesday of June.
And that
Okay.
means we could turn it over quickly, so immediately the next committee of the whole, we can present to the committee and let them know what.
And I think it's kind of driven by the board, so, I hope it's not out of turn, but other services we might want to put RFPs out for. June might be an appropriate time to do that. Have those discussions, could be auditing, whatever. I don't even know who our auditors are, but it's something we should be looking at periodically. Okay.
Making sure I'm getting nods from everyone that they're okay with that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I got ahead of.
Any other concerns? Okay. I'm going to open it back up for public comment, 3 minutes max. The floor is open. You want to give like a speech of what you're going to do with the volleyball team? You're more than welcome to come up and give 3-minute speech. No? All right. Adjournment.
Motion.
Second.
We're done.
Third.
Don't forget to turn in your.